comment here about climate change. Listen now from yesterday.
Next week, I will be joining President Hollande and world leaders in Paris for the Global Climate Conference. What a powerful rebuke to the terrorists it will be when the world stands as one and shows that we will not be deterred from building a better future for our children.
So that very comment getting a bit of attention. There is a climate change summit in Paris next week. Many world leaders will be there. The president taking a bit of heat for talking about the two topics in tandem, terrorism and climate change. Chris Stirewalt, Fox News Digital Politics editor. Sir, here is what Dana Milbank is saying today in the Washington Post. The headline is, "Oh, bummer." What's that about, Chris?
It's about that the president, while President Hollande was practically singing Le Marseillaise in the press conference, talking about what France is going to do and turn back and defeat the bad guys and fight, 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 fight. The president's emphasis throughout this press conference was that it's very hard to win and it's very hard to beat the terrorists, and that people need to understand that sometimes the terrorists will kill us and that we will kill more of them, and that over time it will be okay because of the arc of history and climate change. Mm-hmm. And so it was the two tones, the two attitudes were markedly different, and it was hard, even, I won't say even for, he's a keen observer, that Dana Milbank, coming from the left side of things, looking at this, as I think most people looking at this press conference said, is it jet lag, or is it just, and what I think it is the malaise that comes over this president periodically. It is the melancholy that visits upon him, mostly, it seems, directed at what he views are the inappropriate expectations and demands of his own electorate.
It was my sense that he was tougher yesterday than it was 8 days ago in Turkey. But the point to be made here is that world leaders will meet in Paris next week, and these world leaders will not be cowed. I get it. But you can ask the question, why equate the two? Now, that is a question Ted Cruz is asking from last night. Watch here.
It's gotten to the point where I don't think Saturday Night Live can even parody this president anymore. President Obama and John Kerry have both said that they think essentially your SUV in the driveway is a greater threat to our security than is ISIS, than is a nuclear Iran, and it makes no sense whatsoever.
So a lot of these guys are going to tee off on that comment. Do you believe the preferred strategy still is to allow Russia to lead today, Chris?
For the president, look, there's the economist joke, which is in the long run, we'll all be dead. And sort of you get to the point where the president wants to talk about, we need to be focused on climate change, we need to be focused on this, we can't be getting into a swivet about ISIS and one attack in Paris and it's not that many people and we have bigger fish to fry. Yeah, you want to keep the long game in mind, but Vladimir Putin plays a short game, and he plays a brutal short game, and he's going to take advantage of what the Turks did to one of his jets, and he's going to use that as an excuse to expand his footprint and Russia's operational control in Syria. And it may be one thing for the president and Donald Trump and others to say, yeah, go ahead and let the Russians go in there and kill ISIS. That's fine. That way we'll save money. We won't have to do it. Well, that may sound a lot better than when Putin is going to end up putting divisions on the ground and having a massive base in Syria. That's something that we might not feel so good about in the future.
Well, surface-to-air missiles are headed there now. Chris Stirewalt, Thank you from Washington.
You bet.
So Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush will respond to the president's climate change remarks. Bush also blasting Donald Trump for what he said about Muslims cheering after 9/11. The former governor of Florida will join us in about 20 minutes from now.
All right, stand by for that. In the meantime, there's a breaking story out of Chicago.